I'm a fan of both of you guys. Listen to what you say. You said Bud only had one big fight in his career. Do you really feel that way?
You know, and if you look at his career, don't get me wrong, okay? He's a good fighter, a great fighter. I always say, before I see him calling me out and won the fight and everything, I say before, he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Postal wasn't elite?
Who?
Victor Postal.
Who's that guy?
Oh, so he wasn't commercialized. He wasn't a great. Ricky Burns wasn't elite.
What?
He was HR at Amazon. Name one elite fighter. And no, your cousin's cousin from the amateurs doesn't count from the start. The whole debate felt less like a polished boxing panel and more like Shaquille O'Neal morphing into Judge Judy, only wearing boxing gloves. Picture Bud sitting there, belt glowing, while Shaq just brushes off his career like a fly buzzing on a hot summer porch. He's a good fighter, a great fighter. Shaq says,
See this fight in, and then let me hear your prediction.
I train, I put my best, I dedicate myself to this sport, and I'm just thinking about win, to make history, and this is no deception.
You know, I'm a fan of both of you guys. Listen to what you say.
but you know, when someone says great twice, it already feels like a backhanded compliment being slipped under the table. Then comes the hammer. Name me one elite fighter. Man, that's like asking Drake to name a loyal girlfriend. It cuts deep because even if there's an answer, the doubt already poisoned the air. Bud's defenders scrambled with names. Postal, Ricky Burns, and so on. And Shaq just laughed like somebody tried handing him a McChicken at a five-star dinner. Who? Victor Postal. Ricky Burns. Shaq basically announced Bud's resume reads like the other section on Wikipedia. And the sharpest blow. He never even raised his voice. He dunked on Bud's legacy smoother than a free throw. But here's the twist.
Elite.
Ricky Bones doesn't elite.
Okay.
He's not elite.
It's cool. Well,
Is there a champion?
I'm going to fight another elite
There is
fighter
a
in
champions,
September.
good fighters, but elite fighters is different. Wait.
So I'm going to fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah, okay.
Then we're
We're
gonna
gonna find out.
Then we're
We're
going to
gonna
find out. Then we're
And
gonna
don't
fight.
get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great
You ain't
fighter.
gotta
But
tell
are
me
you
I'm
gonna?
Shaq's critique isn't new, but it lands differently when it comes from him. The big man has no stake in this fight. Yet, he tossed Bud straight into the court of public opinion and walked off like someone who knows Twitter will finish the job. This isn't just about Crawford's opponents. It's about how the fight feels. Fans don't crave good fighters, they crave elite killers. And Shaq just dragged Bud's reputation into a courtroom where casuals bang the gavel. As the talk kept rolling, Shaq's vibe was like TNT wrapped in velvet. You could see Bud fighting to stay composed. Like, I'm here chasing history, not trying to go viral in Shaq's roast session. But Shaq never eased up. He leaned forward with that fake humility, acting like he was only there to watch. Bro, please. Shaq looked seconds away from lacing gloves, ready to challenge both Canelo and Bud in a handicap match. And the wildest part, Bud's response came so calm, it almost sounded scripted. His talking dedication, history, legacy. Meanwhile, Shaq staring like a teacher listening to a student read the wrong chapter.
America revealed that the guaranteed purse for this showdown is a whopping $200 million courtesy of Turkey Alashek, with Canelo Alvarez taking home 75% of that money, which means a guaranteed $150 million for the Mexican superstar and $50 million for the Nebraska fighter.
Bud wanted to deliver a Hall of Fame speech, but Shaq flipped the whole room into open MIC night at a comedy club. But let's peel it back. This moment exposed the psychology of boxing hype. Shaq embodies the casual fan's voice. Name me an elite fighter. Bud stands as the disciplined champion's role. I focus. I train. I win. That collision, that tension, it's the fuel that sells fights. Fans crave drama. Fighters demand respect. And hey, both were served sizzling hot. And here's the twist. Bud's calmness made Shaq's jabs sting sharper. The contrast was vicious. Shaq stormed in like a hurricane, and Bud stayed frozen like a statue, which only magnified the storm. Think about it. If Bud snapped back, it's just noise. But staying cool forced everyone watching to ask, wait, does Shaq have a point? Canelo tagged Bud with the exact same refrain. Name an elite fighter. Like a broken record, but with that smug grin. And Bud, he didn't flinch. He spun it, pointing out how Canelo's so-called elite opponents didn't exactly shine again after facing him. Translation:
part may be a little tricky just because of the rumored Netflix deal. Meaning if this fight does indeed end up on Netflix and follows the same format as the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, then it'll essentially be free to watch to millions of Netflix subscribers.
Your resume might shine on paper, but your opponents looked finished after stepping in with you. That wasn't just a clapback. That was a body shot straight to the ribs. This wasn't about names written down. This was about legacies colliding in real time. Canelo was basically saying, your dance floor is empty. Bud was countering, your partners can't even walk after dancing with you. Both had a case, which made it vicious, because the crowd couldn't decide who was right. That's the pure definition of suspense. What made the exchange deadly was tone. No shouting, no chaos, only surgical strikes. It's the kind of talk where fans lean closer, not away. Because when two champions whisper insults, it echoes louder than Shaq booming across the room. And here's the kicker. This quiet back and forth didn't just fuel the fight. It revealed the pride both men guard. Canelo's legacy is being the elite. Bud's legacy is beating the elite. And now both dare the other to prove it in blood. And Khan didn't stop there. He framed Bud as untouchable. The kind of fighter who makes you punch at shadows until you're gasping like you're searching for Wi-Fi. That's wild because Khan isn't some cheerleader. He's bled in those same trenches. He's felt both sets of fists. If anyone has the receipts, it's him. And now, here's where it turns juicy.
He needs the money. Crawford needs the money? Yeah, he needs the money. You think he had a chance to win? But what makes you say that? You know, I mean, he needs the money. I'm telling you.
He hinted that Bud might actually be stronger than Canelo once the weight comes on. Hold up. Stronger against a man famous for bullying opponents with raw force. That's like saying the quiet kid in class can outbench the quarterback. It flips the whole story upside down. Khan casually rewrote the fight narrative. Everyone paints Canelo as the tank and Bud as the slick technician. But Khan is suggesting Crawford hides a strength we've all overlooked. That's frightening. Because if Bud carries both slick defense and secret power, Canelo isn't facing a smaller man. He's facing the full package. The wild part, Khan delivered it soft-spoken, like telling bedtime tales, but every word was laced with dynamite. He highlighted Canelo's cracks while raising Bud higher, and the internet barely noticed. That's veteran mischief at its finest. He wasn't just talking. He was planting landmines. Think about the subtle craft here. On one hand, Khan is guarding Bud's legacy. He doesn't need Canelo to validate greatness. On the flip side, he's jabbing at Canelo. Why chase the smaller man? That's genius-level stirring. He cast Canelo as the bully in this script, while Bud remains the noble warrior. Shaq, though, flat out declared Bud's resume doesn't measure up. And that's the dagger. Because in boxing, perception weighs as much as truth. Canelo's name alone fills arenas. Bud, he needs a who did he beat PowerPoint every time someone introduces him. And when Shaq, one of the most respected icons in sports, calls you out, the doubt spreads like wildfire. But here's the twist. Resumes can lie. And Bud has got the tools to make Canelo's style look ancient. But the casual Shaq represents. They don't care about ring IQ or slick footwork. They care about names. And Canelo's got those carved deep into his record. When Shaq questioned Bud's list of elite opponents, he wasn't just tearing down Crawford. He was quietly defending boxing's storytelling tradition. Fans don't only crave skill, they crave the hero's journey stacked with dragon-slaying wars. Bud's road. It feels more like he fought a few lizards, then declared himself ready for the dragon. Shaq knew the game. By poking holes in Bud's resume, he shifted the spotlight to where casual fans feast. Big names, big brands, box office clout. He never said Bud can't fight. He said Bud hasn't proven it on the grandest stage. And that cut deep. Because Bud might genuinely be the best fighter alive. But without a household name etched on that record, the casuals won't crown you king. Shaq drove the wedge clay. Canelo's resume feels legendary. Bud's resume feels like the warm-up act before the main event. And that's why Shaq brushed it off. Not because Bud lacks greatness, but because in boxing, greatness gets measured by the giants you conquer, not the belts you collect. But here's the twist. Resumes can deceive. Ask yourself, would you rather be the man who fought legends and lost, Canelo against Mayweather, Canelo against Bivol, or the man who faced solid fighters but destroyed every single one? Bud's spotless dominance is rare. No controversy. No whispers of maybe he lost. Just clean, brutal beatdowns. That's something even Canelo can't fully claim. So Shaq's roast may sting, but Bud holds the chance for the last laugh. Beat Canelo, and suddenly his resume transforms overnight. History doesn't care about the path you walked. It cares about the names you crushed beneath the lights.